So we're moving on. This is the last Sunday of January. You have 11 months till Christmas. Yeah, I know. I just thought when I wrote my tithe check, it said January 25th, and it was like, whoa, just on that side of it was December 25th. And here we are on January 25th, wedged between that holiday and that New Year's Day, which is why today we're going to talk about Back to the Future. Way above and beyond just the fun of listening to the Huey Lewis song, but really about back to the future, because we are talking about back to basics. And it was wonderful that Dr. Carolyn was able to be here last week, first and foremost because it meant she was healthy, but secondly because she brought a wonderful spin to the basics of science of mind and why we teach that and how we get to review so many of the finer points as we move into the month of January. So I wanted to read a couple of things about what it is we teach, especially if you're new here or you haven't been here for a while. What we teach, the basic principle of science of mind and spirit, it's simply love and law. That there is one power, the power of love. Get it? See, the song made sense now, didn't it? There's only one power, the power of love, which is the power of God, and that there is an all-powerful law that responds to our thinking. This is coming out of the textbook, by the way. That this philosophy is a science, air quotes, since it is based on spiritual laws. Just as there are natural laws of physics which govern the physical world, there are spiritual laws that control our lives. These principles are as impersonal as gravity and electricity, and whether we are aware or not, we are using them constantly. Now, there's more to that declaration, which is in the textbook. I wanted to focus just on those two pieces. And we're talking about, and Dr. Carolyn mentioned, using the basics of this teaching by which to create the life that we desire. And we use them using affirmation, meditation, contemplation, spiritual mind treatment, visualization, and affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer, which is the one unique thing to who we are that makes us so different from all of the other faiths or philosophies or religions. Now, what I want to bring your attention to is we've been singing a song in January this month called Affirmative Prayer. And for some, you may have remembered we've done it a couple of times. I try and do it in January. And this song was written by a dear friend, a former colleague who's now a practitioner in San Diego, Daryl Thompson. He was our choir director at Pacific Church. And he wrote this song, and if y'all take your little program thingy home and you start to read it, what you will suddenly realize is that it is a 5-step treatment. Which is why I love the song. Besides, I think it's beautiful. What I love about it is those of you who are new to this, or sometimes when we're in the middle of the, hanging on for dear life mode in our daily affairs, you can sing this, remind this, refresh yourself with the 5 steps. And those 5 steps match. I know it's not kosher to ever turn your back on stage, but our beautiful symbol is that Catherine and John painted and the Georges built. I mean, there were so many people who added to this, but it's basically an artistic rendition of our teaching symbol. So if you're new to this and you're not sure what that is, there's a teaching symbol over in the healing corner in our candelabra. It's beautifully etched on our front doors. Catherine did that. And it's talking about the process that we teach. Now, you want to know more about that? Sign up for Foundations class over to the community board in Loftus Hall, because that's where we get to tell you what Dr. Carolyn and I were talking about, which is the real way to understand, to grasp, and to utilize this philosophy is to start taking classes. Take the meditation workshop, take the brain class, take the self-mastery class, take foundations, take all of the classes that you can by which to just absorb it, because there's so much. And all of it's possible. And, we're human beings in this dense physicality. We don't always absorb it right away all at one time. That's kind of an exalted state, which we all ascribe to in some way or another. So we take the classes as a way by which to review, to learn, and to expand, grow, and use these principles. Dr. Ernest Holmes writes, "The science of mind," which is what we teach, we are religious scientists, but we teach the science of mind, is built on the theory that there is one infinite mind which of necessity includes all that is, whether it be the intelligence in man, life in the animal, or the invisible presence which is God. In it, we learn to have a spiritual sense of things. This spiritual sense of things is what is meant by the consciousness of Christ. To be able to discern the spiritual idea back of the physical symbol is to use the mind that Jesus used. Wow, what a concept right there. Understanding the Christ consciousness through some of the tools that we have in this philosophy and teaching, you are able to use the same mind, capital M, mind, not brain in this case, mind that Jesus used. One mind, one life. So here we are, we're still in the new year. It's still January. There's only been 24 days that's happened. We're into the 25th day. We still have an opportunity by which to know that, behold, I make all things new. The Greek word translated new in Revelations can also mean renewed or restored, and it includes circumstances and conditions along with appearances. So, here we are, January 25th, and perhaps you're not feeling it as much as you did a few weeks ago. We got off of the holidays, and then there was a little bit of a lull, and then there was New Year. Yeah! And we get all excited, and new calendars and new clothes and new resolutions and new ideas, and there's an energy and a spark and everything that happens, and even when something happens that isn't fun, you go, oh, that's okay, because I'm in a new frame of mind, it doesn't matter, and it washes over you, until suddenly somewhere around, I don't know, about 15 days into it, there's just a little bit. It kind of tugs at you like a 2-year-old or like a puppy at your pant leg. How do you feel now? Is it so new? Is it so happy? I don't know. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. It's new. Well, we have an opportunity to do it anew. We get to build. And we have someone in our Science of Mind magazine circle who wrote a quote that says, you can't predict how something will be perceived, but you can be confident in your intention. Sufi. So you can't predict the future, even with those goals that you set. You cannot predict your future. You cannot predict how other people are going to perceive what you've set into motion or that you do. What you can do is be confident in your intention, which goes back to the idea of fanning your faith. So in the Thursday Science and Mind Circle, we referred to an article that was in this month's issue by Dr. Rev Duchess January. And he had 10 tips that I thought was wonderful, and we all loved it, so we decided we'd do it today. 10 tips to unburden yourself from 2015. 10 burdens to drop. Okay, so I'm going to just list them. I'm not going to give you everything that's in it because I'm going to encourage you to buy the magazine because he goes into wonderful detail. There's some fabulous articles, and we happen to have a few copies left. So number 1, he says, I don't punish myself over any to-do lists, including this one. That's almost enough right there. Because if you started out the new year with your goals, resolutions, your visions, however you wanted to frame it, and you had all of that, and here it is, January 25th, and you've only checked off 2 of them, or suddenly they have become cumbersome and burdensome, the shoulders start to come up, you start to feel a little crunky. So what he's suggesting is, I am no longer burdened by my to-do lists, even the good ones, even the ones I did on January 1st. Number 2. If I can't change something about the past, I leave it alone. You can't change something that happened in the past. You can only change your reaction or your response to it. And so therefore, in this new year, if you are still carrying the baggage and the luggage of something that happened in the past, just so that you can prove to family and friends why you're acting the way you are, you can go, oh, yeah? You want to know why? So then you open up the bag or the chest and you go, do you see that's in there? See what he did, she did, they did, da-da-da-da-da-da. And you've almost got it cataloged, date by occurrence, alphabetical, etc. Change your opinion about that. It's done. It is history. Even the good stuff that's happened is history. And you can continue to play over your reaction and enjoy it and magnify it because what we magnify, what we multiply, increases in our life. So if that is true, and it is, you don't want to keep replaying all of the baggage of something that happened in the past. that you cannot change. Change your thinking about it. Number 3, with nothing positive to say in the moment, silence is golden. Well, we were probably all taught that in one way or another as little kids, right? We've morphed into maturity, spiritual maturity, where we know, and that's why we teach meditation, we teach contemplation, we teach stillness, the silence, so that you're listening to a higher self. Number 4, I express complaints as requests. Oh, that intrigued you, didn't it? You went, I express complaints as requests. It's not saying that you may not have an issue with someone, that you may not have something that's wrong or you want something changed. The difference is how you frame it, how you approach it to another person. Rather than, would you stop doing that, to, I wonder if you understand that when you do that activity, it creates a challenge for me. Would you mind trying it differently? Might I suggest that you, is it possible that we? So take your complaints, shift your energy about it, and come up with a creative way by which you could make a request that whatever it is that that person or group of persons or something that's going on that's causing you annoyance or grief could be different. And if you play that back, really what that's doing is you're changing your thinking and behavior about it. You're not expecting or demanding or complaining that someone else has to change for you. Number 5, if it's my buck, it stops here. That's pretty self-explanatory. Number 6, I practice no-fault living. Well, I know we're in California, and I think we have no-fault insurance, but I was intrigued by what he wrote about no-fault living, and basically it stills down to, would I rather be right or be happy? Eek, eek. I would like to be happily right, personally, and I work with that a lot, and I get the bigger spiritual picture. Number 7, I toss pointless worry. Well, Dr. Carolyn talked about it beautifully last week when she said and reminded us that fear and faith are basically the same energy. It's how we apply it. It's our creative spin on it. It's our intention behind it. So when we're really having all of that worry, the moaning, the groaning, the fretting, and all of that consternation worry, what that is faith, that energy of faith into the negative outcome that you really don't want to happen in the first place. So rewind that. Move it, shift it around to having faith that whatever it is that you were concerned about is going to turn out just fine. Number 8, I do what needs doing and I get out of my own way. That's a trickier one too, actually, because you're listening to your list, you're trying to do that, and I teach often in counseling, you do what's in front of you to do. But the challenge is sometimes we do it, and we're going strong, and then we get to one, and we do what we're supposed to do, and then we go, yeah, but. Or should I have, I needed to have picked that other one, didn't I? Well, if I picked that other one, then this would have happened. Well, and if that would have happened, then, and somewhere now you are way out in the future, in things that have not happened yet. So we want to bring you back to the basics, back to the future, so that the future is outpicturing that which you want it to outpicture instead of the what if. Number 9, I put off putting off the fun stuff. I put off putting off the fun stuff. We come from that great Puritan work ethic, don't we? We were raised, and we needed a certain sense of discipline as we were children to make sure that you got up, you brushed your teeth, you made your bed, you did your homework, you took out the trash or whatever before you got to go outside and play, or nowadays, I guess, to sit with 5 of your devices or Xbox something, I don't know. But usually there was a discipline and a structure by which we were told you have to do these things that might have looked like chores before you got to have fun and play. And many of us took that so to heart that we never played. It was usually always work. And it was a chance to do what's in front of me to do with the resolution, what was going to make the family members happy or the teacher happy, or to be, in my case, the good little girl. Good little girls always do what's on their list, always do the right thing to make their, get their homework, da-da-da-da-da. And then if you're too tired or there's no time left, well, you don't get to play. Which is really why I am, again, bless those books, because you could quietly read, and then you would have the fantasy inside the book. Some of us didn't have the fantasy and the adventures outside the world. We had it here first. And then we carry that into adulthood. And it's, yeah, I'd love to go out with you to dinner. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go to Bidwell Park and do this. I got to clean out the garage. Oh, no, I've got to work on my taxes. Oh, no, I've got to, all these lists and chores and tasks. And then we postpone the fun. Do not postpone joy, ever. And yes, there will be times when you need to do something that has to be done instead of go out play, like play hooky. The difference is you don't have to postpone the joy, because you can find joy in that which is in front of you to do, so that it gets done effortlessly without whining and complaining and worry, and then move on to the fun that awaits you. So you don't have to do different things. You just have to do them differently. Adverbs are your friend. Number 10, sacredness is the new normal. Oh. I read that and my entire body just went into that meditative, contemplative mode. Sacredness is the new normal. I have permission for that. It's in print. It's on page probably 79. It's in here. It says that. And growing up as anything but normal, every time there's something that allows me to be in the norm, is a privilege. It's like, look, I can be normal. I can be sacred. Yeah. Then I go over here and I'm something else. Sacredness is the new normal. Well, what do you think we do on a Sunday? We come here to enjoy, to share, to co-create, to sing, to dance, and to pray in the sacredness of God, the sacredness and the wholeness of our own individuality. Yes. So those are the 10 things that Dr. Jesse recommends, and he expounds on all of them. He also has an article, magazine, bookstore, buy. It's in there. It's wonderful. It's a way to go. So now, what I'm going to do is what we did in the Thursday circle, because we were talking about all of that, and as I said, some of us, we get to this place, and here we are, and it's almost February, and we feel like we're already behind the 8 ball. We haven't gotten it done, or we don't have that sparkly newness and that feeling again. So I'm going to take us into a little process, please. So close your eyes, stuff off your lap. And take a breath. And maybe the past 24 days haven't gone the way you intended them to. But what I'm going to do now, is give you a new opportunity again. I'm going to make it a new year. Joel Goldsmith writes, "The inner experience will become the substance of our outer experience." And for many of us, there used to be a phrase that we liked as kids that gave us permission. Do-over. So join with me now as we contemplate the idea of ushering in the new year. Yay! Confetti, confetti, lights. So for a moment, in the amazing movie screen of your mind, and if you have a visual screen or just go along with me, you know what it's like in the movies where they have that big calendar and they're trying to show time passing and they rip off a page and they show another date and they rip off another page. Well, right now, we think it's January 25th, 2015. What if I told you that the calendars were wrong? It's not. Today, it's the first day of the new year. Dissolve those calendars. The images today, right here, right now, is the first day, the first moment, the first breath of your new year. Breathe it in. And what would we feel today if we knew this is the new day, the new year? How would we feel? Just go ahead and let your body, check in with your body. Would there be enthusiasm? Would there be new sense of hope? What might be different in your life today if today truly was the first day of your new year? Maybe you'd go outside as you leave today and you'd pick up another one of those green affirmations we gave you at the candlelight service with a quality of God and an affirmation. Maybe you'd pick a brand new one. Maybe you would toss out that to-do list and plan a fun activity for the rest of the afternoon, even though you were going to do something pragmatic. Open a new door, open a new window. Breathe in. It's today, right here, right now. And what can you create in your mind as your intention for this new year? Setting that intention is key. Allow yourself the feeling nature. And wherever you start to feel that sparkle, that energy and enthusiasm again, just focus all of your energy and attention right now and take a screen snapshot, a mind snapshot of that. Of what that feels like. You might even be smiling right now. Notice that all we did was change our thinking. Which changes our feeling. And when our feelings change, then we change our thoughts. And when our thoughts change, we change our lives. Breathe that in. Joel Goldsmith writes, "The grace of the past, present, and future is at this very instant my sufficiency in all things." Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Breathe that in. And then open your eyes gently when you're centered and back in your body. And one of the ways that I encourage, I invite, I kind of wanted to, but I'm going to encourage and invite you to shift that energy and focus is by staying in a state of gratitude. Appreciation. We talk about that a lot, and of course there's a lot of talk about that just a mere 2 months ago in Thanksgiving. But we teach that. It's a basic metaphysical principle. That which you appreciate grows. I think that's even effective in the stock market or money things, fiduciary. What you appreciate, it grows, it increases. Where you put your energy and attention multiplies. So we look to a salutary experience and action of gratitude. We talked about simple gift. They sang. Giving and receiving. So, for the new year, I had an idea in the vision, and then I called our aesthetic design genius guru. Is guru okay for ladies, or would it be a guru-ess? You can? Okay. Just wanted to be politically correct. And I called Catherine Wright. And I said, I want to create a blessings jar so that throughout the year, each one of us can write down something by, when we're blessed by something. I'm not talking just about demonstrations for the treatments. I'm talking about somebody did something extra special for you today. Or you loved the music today. There was something really particularly fabulous about that. I want you to please, I encourage you, to take the time and fill out a little blessing card. You may put your name on it, or it can be anonymous. Because here's what we're going to do. Throughout the year, I'm going to read those. I want it to be a way. You know how I think at Enloe and a bunch of places they always say, hey, let us know how we're doing. Shine on one of our employees. Let us know, something. Well, it doesn't have to be the staff here. It could be each and all of us. You are blessed by something that happened, but particularly at least in our community, because we're going to multiply that this year. That's the idea, because we are so blessed, and sometimes I think we forget until it gets Christmas or Thanksgiving or a birthday, or we give somebody a something and we say, oh, we love you so much, we're so blessed by you. And then the rest of the year it's like, la, 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 la. So there's a gorgeous jar. As you might expect, Catherine just went, beauty. So there's, there was that, my childhood was one of the Disney movies, I don't know, it was Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty, but the bippity boppity boop, and the lady just went, bing, and then, it was Cinderella, yes, because then there was this gorgeous dress and the pumpkin carriage. Well, you just tell Catherine an idea, I need a symbol here, I need a blessings jar there, and she just goes, boop. So it's out in the foyer. And next to it is a little box that she also made, and Polly made us some blessing cards. You don't have to write the whole story. You can just simply say, today I am blessed by, or today someone gave me, or I am so grateful because Lynn Busby is always at the front door with a smile and a program. There's no limit. It isn't like you only get one blessing a week. You can take as many. I hope we run out of those little blessing cards that Polly has to say, oh, how many more do I have to print? I hope that we get to that. And then just fill it in and leave it in there. And as I say, you may sign your name or not, because maybe you want to make it an anonymous blessing. That's fine. It's appreciation. It's a blessing. But I want to just get that blessings jar full to overflowing, and then we'll share it at annual meetings or the volunteer recognition, or I don't know, when the mood strikes me and we need to just remind each other of the gift that we are to one another, of this prosperous, blessed, joyous center that we share, that we co-create, that we support. So I know we have social hour, so you could, and maybe you want to write a blessing about our social hour team. Psh, yay. I don't want to wait till just the end of the year to just say thank you to people, or when it's their birthday, or when they're, moving to a different thing, or trustees stepping off the board, things like that. I want people to know now, because all time is now, and we do not postpone joy in this center. So, after your social hour, while you're out visiting the presentation board for the 100th Monkey Cafe, you would go towards, is that east, west? Somebody tell me. That way. Okay. Thank you. I didn't want to say toward the restroom on the videotape. That's all. Okay, that way. And that is correct, Warren. Some of us do have to go south to go north. Thank you for remembering that. Please avail yourself of the beauty of that, and I've already put in the first one, so it's in there to show you as a role model. And let us go back to the future of what we each and collectively want to create for this spiritual community. And we go back to the future by going back to using the basics, and in this case, it's blessings, appreciation, and gratitude. Sacredness is the new normal. Let's pray. Oh, holy presence, how great thou art. I just nestle myself into the warm embrace of spirit, and I feel loved and cradled, supported and safe. And it is from here that I may indeed relax into the moment and acknowledge and extol the blessings in my life. I don't have to wait till I count my blessings before I go to sleep. I count them every time they happen. And I count the blessing that I have this incredible teaching in philosophy that allows me to speak this spiritual mind treatment in first person, acknowledging extolling and blessing the one infinite mind, the infinite intelligence of the universe, that which includes the mind of Jesus, the mind of Buddha, the mind of Jim Henson, the mind, oh, you fill in the blank. I am one with that creative mind. And I know that by being one with that I can be knowing of myself as the moon and the stars and the sun and the sunsets and the flowers. And then my blessing begins to expand and grow and know, and then I get to that place in my spiritual mind treatment where I declare that which I wish to experience, and really all I need to declare is my oneness with God, and all else is added unto me, thee. Yes, it may show up as abundance and prosperity, health and expanded vitality, creative expressions, divine loving relationships, peace of mind, body, and heart. Yes, 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 that and more and all. For there is no limit. So I know and accept this for myself. And as I accept it for myself, I accept it for the one that I am, with each of us in this room, with each of us on this planet, knowing this greater wholeness of God as my very own. I breathe that in. That knowledge, that feeling, that sacredness is my new normal for my new year that begins this new moment right now. Right now, right now, right now. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, praise, gratitude, thank you. Blessings abound. And so I am just grateful to have affirmed this, shared this, know this, and be this. I now lovingly take it all, wrap it up, and give it back to Spirit so that I may go out and create, share, and be more. Thank you. Thank you. Please join me together as we say, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. Amen.